Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Unboxed. Today we're going to continue to unbox the power and the potential of the Black family and especially the Black child. Stick around.
I'm Dr. Robert Davis, family life educator and relationship coach, and welcome to Unboxed, a frank and straightforward conversation about relationships. We're going to talk about family, church, workplace, and all other types of relationships. Join me for the next few moments as we unbox the power and potential of relationships and help you to live your best life.
All right, everyone. So glad to have you with us today. I'm your host, Dr. Robert Davis. Before we get started, would you please like, subscribe, and share? That's right. Like, subscribe, and share. And we're having a few little technical difficulties here. I'm not seeing it on my end, but that's okay. We're going to keep rolling with it here. We're going to keep rolling with it. No problem. We'll keep rolling with it. Again, like, subscribe, and share. And let's get started. We've been talking about building the Black family, and we've talked about building the Black woman, which of course is building the Black mom. And now we're talking about building the Black child. And so as we've been talking about building the Black child, I can't think of a better way to celebrate Mother's Day than to talk about how we build the children of our beautiful queens, our beautiful mothers. All right. So we looked at three things that one of them was the education system, or rather we've been looking at the education system. And as we look at the education system, we know that the education system has failed children as a whole in America, but specifically Black children, because of the fact that as Black children, we're already behind the eight ball, if you will. And so we need to be, as African-American parents, very intentional about the education of our children. So there were three things that they're not going to get at school that you need to ensure that they get at home. The first one that we talked about was entrepreneurial thinking. Help your children to think like entrepreneurs. And I'm going to really dig into that tonight. The second thing we talked about was teaching your children money management, because what we don't want is we don't want our children to grow up and to spend the rest of their lives working for somebody else. That's not the idea or the goal that we're looking for. We don't want to be working for somebody else our whole lives. And here's the third thing that I want to talk about, and that is all of our children have a certain amount of passion, and there's something that they're good at, something that they really enjoy. And what I want to share with you is the importance, and they don't teach you this at school. You're not going to learn any of these things in the school system for the most part. And there are a few schools that are trying to do this, but for the most part, you're not going to learn these things. You're going to learn to get a good education, go to school, go to college, and get a good job working for somebody else, making somebody else rich. But even right now, one of the things that you can be teaching your children is how to monetize their passion. That's right, monetize your passion. And what I mean by monetize your passion is that, again, every child has something that they really enjoy, a hobby. They have something that really excites them. They have something that they do well. And you will be surprised at how they can take what they already are doing, what they already enjoy, and monetize it. For instance, if your children likes to cook, monetize that. Let them sell plate dinners. Let them bake cakes and other pastries, etc., and sell in the community. Whatever is their passion, they can monetize it. They got a passion for hair care products, have them to develop their hair care products and begin to sell them. And I'm not just talking about, thinking about becoming a multimillionaire, but what I am talking about is just developing this mindset that I am worth something, number one, and that I can use my mind and my skills in order to provide for my family financially. One of the things that we regretted as parents was we didn't teach our children how to play musical instruments, especially the piano, because the reality is your children go to college, they can play for a church on the weekend and can get paid for it. But what we did teach our children was how to, we didn't teach them, but they learned how to do hair. And my daughter would make side money by doing hair while she was in school. She enjoyed doing hair, loved it, and that's how she monetized her passion. And we always think about doing hair, we think about doing barbering, but I want you to really begin to expand your child's mind and get them to think in other avenues as well, about ways, again, that they can monetize their passion. I have a very good friend of mine. This is going to be a short, brief episode today. I have a very good friend of mine. His name is Kimon Hines. And Kimon Hines actually has an entire curriculum for children as well as for adults on how they can monetize their passions. He calls it Ideas to Life.me. That's the name of his company, Ideas to Life. And the website for that company is www.ideastolife.me. And he will consult with you and help you to understand how you can take your passion and how you can actually convert it into income, whether a full-time income or just something that is residual on the side. He also works with children. My daughter went to his entrepreneurial school. He has an entrepreneurial school for African-American children and youth. And my daughter went to it to learn how to actually take your entrepreneurial skills and, again, convert them into cash. Awesome materials. I want you to check it out. His name is Kimon Hines. His website is www.ideastolife.me. We have to be intentional. As I close, we have to be intentional in our communities at ensuring that we pick up ourselves. I want you to get this now. I heard Dr. Boyce Watkins yesterday as I was listening to one of his broadcasts, and he was talking about the challenge that we run into as African Americans when we put so much of our stock into one person. And as great as Dr. King was, as great as other Black leaders were, we put a lot of stock into them. And then when they were killed, the whole movements in many ways came to a screeching halt. We recognize that there is a cancer that is festering in the body of America. It's a cancer of racism. And so we as African Americans have to decide that each of us individually are going to do our part to build up our community, to be intentional and thoughtful, like the Jews are, about building up their community. Be thoughtful and intentional to say, we recognize that we have been behind the 8 ball. And we're going to be extraordinarily vigilant about getting out of this situation. We know that we cannot rely on the United States government to help us. Matter of fact, one of the reasons that each of us has to do it is because over the years, the United States government has been instrumental in trying to quelch and trying to stop great Black movements and great Black leaders. So you know what? If all of us are doing our part, it's going to be very difficult for them to kill every last African American. So each of us do our part. Each of us pitch in. Each of us say, hey, we're going to press the government to give us what we're owed in reparations, et cetera, et cetera. But in the meantime, in between time, we're going to do our part to build up our individual families, our part to build up our individual churches, our part to build up our individual communities. And that's how we are going to get out. And if they attack us, if they try to pass laws, and this is one of the things America does so well, as soon as the African American community starts making progress, they then make laws to make illegal the various things that we are using to try to progress. Or we've seen it before. They just come straight in and bomb and destroy and tear down communities, set them on fire. We've seen all of this, but guess what? When they do it, we've got to keep on building. When they try to push us apart, we got to unify even more. We cannot sit back and say that whites are so powerful and that America is so powerful and so supreme. This is where all that white supremacy comes from, that America is so white, is so powerful and so supreme that there's nothing we can do to overcome. That's a lie from the pits of hell. If we do our part and build our families and build our wealth and build our capital and stick together as a community in the best we can, then we can change this whole world for the positive. Listen, I'm so glad that you decided to join in with us today. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Tell your friends about it. Check out what we're doing at UnBoxed. Visit our website or shoot me an email. Love to hear from you. We're going to continue this conversation tomorrow about how we build the Black family. Until then, have a good day.
Seasoned with Grace, UnBoxed also provides healthy relationship training and leadership development for businesses, churches, and community organizations. For a free consultation to discuss your team's needs, please contact us at our website at swg-unboxed.org. That's swg-unboxed.org.